The following podcast is taken from a live broadcast on Inspire FM.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, and welcome to Sister Speak with me, Lamisa.
And me, Sadia.
Yeah, I'm back after a long time. Actually, no, I was on the show
after a few weeks.
last week, I think.
This is the most prominent. This is the most I've been here for a while.
Wow, yeah.
You were here recently.
Yeah, I was here last week. I don't know why I said that, but but you know, I think it's a while since I was in the host chair. That may be why.
Yeah.
But yeah, today our main topic is going to be on the effect of social media propaganda on elections.
Yep.
We're going to be taking quite a general standpoint, just discussing, you know, what we think the effects are. But yeah, Saja, do you want to say what our show's about?
Yeah, sure. So our show is about giving Muslim women a platform to speak about any issues we want to speak about, whether it's politics, religion, culture, popular culture, etc., anything at all. Just let us know. And
talk about
you can call us in on 01582 481822 or text us in on 07779 481822.
Yeah.
Done that so many times, I don't even have to look anymore.
Oh, wow. Ace.
Nice.
But yeah, just want to stress that all opinions and views are our own on this show. And yeah. So I guess we'll move on.
Especially for this topic.
Especially for this topic, yeah. Our opinions are our own.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll move on to our thoughts for the week. So this is a segment of our show where basically we just discuss something that may have come to mind during the week. And it's a little bit of food for thought for you guys to think about while you're doing whatever you are listening to our show. Sadia, do you want to?
From work?
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Do you want to start off?
I don't know which thought to do.
Or go on, give us all your thoughts.
Actually, to be fair, I can tie in one with the actual topic.
Mm-hmm.
So, aside from my angry political thoughts, my thought of the week that I'm going to discuss now is keep going, keep persevering, keep improving on yourself, because I just graduated and I finished my internship around September. I've been looking for jobs since, but now I've realized I haven't really been looking for jobs since then. I've been really lazy because I've been living off of my pay from that previous job for a while. So I wasn't motivated to find a job for a while. I just sent some CVs, some of my old bad CVs through LinkedIn, easy ones. But I haven't been going out of my way to find really, really good jobs that I would have to write cover letters for. I'd have to full on do the application because I just hate the idea of doing that.
CBA.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why I didn't actually get any offers back. But over the last few weeks, I fully went and found websites that have really good jobs on them for my field. I wrote cover letters. I amended my CV. I got people to read over it, etc. And I've had probably 6 to 7 responses back since then.
Well
Thank you. I've got my 4th interview not tomorrow, Thursday.
Okay.
In 2 weeks. I'm why didn't I do this before? I'd have a job by now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So my thought of the week is if you've got a goal,
yeah.
give it all your quality, not quantity. Start it at a good level or you'll regret it later. Yeah,
for sure, I can vouch for that. Yeah. But I feel like I'm going through those steps again. It's coming up to midterm time, and you've got exams at this time. But I'm still chilling at home, not really doing as much revision as I should. But I guess if you really want a goal, you should strive to get it. Yes, hard work pays off. So
throw off for around your old CV.
It's so easy to do that, though.
So
I feel
easy.
It's really bad, but it's so easy to do. Yeah, I guess that wraps up your thought of the week. My thought of the week, I read this quote and it said, too many people buy things they don't need with money they don't have, trying to impress people they don't even like. I feel like people have seen this around. And I guess it kind of got me thinking in this sense that, because I've always, for the past few years, I've had the notion that we're all really selfish in a way. We have a really selfish sort of mindset and things like that. But I guess this quote made me realize that in that selfishness, there's a type of, almost caring too much about what other people think. Yeah, and it's really strange because we have this thing where we only care about ourselves, but at the same time, that comes with caring too much about what other people think. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. I feel like it's a really strange balance or strange concept.
Okay, let me try and understand what you said.
Go on.
So our materialism comes from our insecurities within ourselves that we're not enough without them, because society has convinced us that we need all these things to be,
but then we
a good enough person.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, she got it. She got it. But you know, it's really strange. I feel like
Deep.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, it messes up your mind a bit. It's like no one really cares about other people, but at the same time, we care too much about what other people say about us. So it's like, I'm not going to help you, but I still care.
I know exactly what you mean.
You care about me, like what you say about me.
Like, you will just flip through someone's Instagram stories, not care anything, but how much thought have they put into posting it, and what other people would have thought about posting it.
Oh my God. Yeah,
like,
that's just one example.
Do I look fat here? Like, what, should I edit it? But nobody's really looking.
No one's looking. I just scroll through. Sometimes I don't even double tap. Like, you know, it is what it is. And it's like, you spent ages before putting up that Instagram post, just... madness,
overthinking every
aspect. I feel like it's not just social media, like even your outfit, like, you know, you might before going into uni think it's the most casual outfit in the world, but you'll try on all these different options to try and just look, I guess,
my God, everybody, don't bother doing all this like shopping before uni with your clothes, kids. You're going to end up wearing the most lazy things.
It's a waste of money, trust me. Some of the stuff I buy I don't even wear.
Unless you're rich, don't try and be a fashion model for uni.
Unless you can afford it.
Unless you can afford it, yeah.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, so that wraps up our thoughts for the week.
Yeah, so we'll move on.
Yeah,
to the big topic. We just had an election. Wasn't this the first time you voted?
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I feel okay. I mean, I did a postal vote, which kind of took away from it, I think, because I really wanted my vote to count in a constituency that wasn't.
What's your constituency?
In Tooting. So I wanted it to be a constituency that wasn't the party that I was going to vote for. So my vote kind of had a bigger effect. But then where my university is also the party that, like, it's the same.
Yeah, me too.
So I was like, I should have just voted here and got the real experience. I feel like I didn't get the whole experience
of walking into a polling
station. Yeah, I really wanted that, but you know,
maybe next time.
I know.
5 years or not 5 years, who knows? We can have an election.
But I mean, how do you feel? Do you feel like your voice was really heard during this election?
I have never won an election. Every single time.
You've never won an election?
Yeah, you know what I mean. Every single time I voted, not gone my way. Yeah.
That's all you have to say.
We're not supposed to be giving our opinions.
No, of course not. But I don't know. I feel like elections are, you know. I definitely don't. But I guess that's the thing. Like, it's the voice of the majority that goes through, and that's what we have to accept.
Why am I getting a call right now?
Oh no. But yeah, I mean,
I guess so. I just don't like what this election signifies, in my opinion.
Okay. See.
How are we going to talk about this without being political? I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, that's a little starter for our main topic. If we can move on to our hot topics, and then we'll delve deep into our main topic, which is the effect of social media propaganda on elections. But yeah, hot topics for this week. 2019, we're moving on to 2020. So it's basically the end of a decade. That's the reaction that most people have.
How old were you at the start of this decade?
I was 10.
I was 12. That's so weird.
It's
You're
really
a 2000s baby.
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
You're a baby. Yeah. Even though you're only 3 years younger than me.
But that's the thing. Like, you probably see me as a kid, right?
I actually see you as my age.
Oh, do you?
But so whenever I remember that you're younger than me, I feel really immature.
Really? Because I don't know, because I feel like I'll look back at this decade as probably my childhood, because it was the childhood that I remember. Yeah. But I feel like
teenagehood.
But when I think about those years, I didn't feel young. But when I see kids that are that age, I feel like they're kids. Like, even my brother's only 2 years younger than me. I'm like, he's a child.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's weird. What would you say your highlight has been from the past 10 years? Go on.
Mate, I went through high school, sixth form, uni.
Everything.
I guess my highlights.
Or give us your top
that's
3.
my entire growth.
Yeah.
I can't even think of like specific moments that made my life, because it's like I don't remember before. Well, I remember little bits, but like that, it wasn't significant to me. I didn't have to make any life decisions before this decade.
Really?
Of course not.
Oh, before
12.
this decade. Yeah. Me either.
Yeah, I'm so excited though because I told you about my diary, right?
Oh yeah.
So for those who don't know which is everyone, I started my diary on September the 1st, 2010, and now I'm on my last 2 pages. So I've literally had this diary for a whole decade.
How thick is this diary though?
It's like this. It's like a book.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not like I write every day.
I was gonna say,
I write
like,
a few times
could you
a year
imagine?
nowadays, and I can literally see my growth
Throughout.
from 10 years ago. Well, 9 years.
Yeah.
Approaching 10 years. Yeah, like I'm such an angry teen. Like,
Oh, really?
like I hate my dad. He took my phone. Doesn't understand me. No one gets it.
Oh,
now it's
God.
like looking for a job. Life's hard.
Need to write cover letters.
Need to like.
Oh my god.
Oh my
I don't know.
gosh.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the fact that this whole past 10 years, almost 10 years, has been a lot of growth.
What's your highlights been then?
I don't know. Oh, it's
Exactly.
Really
When you
difficult.
asked me, I was like, what? That's the whole 10 years.
your top 3. I don't know.
Uni for me, I guess.
I can definitely remember going to Thorpe Park in 2010.
Thorpe Park was your whole life, the whole decade.
I can remember going to Thorpe Park. That sort of starts off the decade for me. It was the day after my birthday, and it was a cool day out. You know, never been to Thorpe Park before, and Flying Fish was a really scary ride.
So
I can
how's
remember
the
that.
rest of the decade been really bad?
That was my highlight, guys. No, I mean the rest of the decade, it's ups and downs. It's mainly education, really, because
Yeah, that's
you
our
know,
whole
I'm a-
education there.
yeah, basically.
I finished my education with this decade.
Wow. I'm yet to finish, but probably going to finish halfway through the next decade. But still, I mean, it's a lot of my high school years, and I guess I think the past few years has been a lot more. I'd say a lot more. It's contributed a lot more to my growth than the first few years. I feel like your early teens are very much just
Of course.
riding along, you know.
Yeah, you don't have to actually make many decisions. then.
The hardest decisions was, oh my god, what subjects do I take for GCSEs? It was like choosing your subjects. I remember being so like I didn't know whether to take, what was it, German or history? I was so.
What did you take?
I ended up taking German.
Oh.
Don't know a word of German. I mean, you know, I did well in the
History
exam, but to this day, I really can't speak anything apart from my name is Lamisa.
You should have done history.
Should have done history, you know. I don't know, but
You
yeah,
just learned about World War II a few times.
a few couple times
Probably.
But yeah, I mean, but it was a hard decision because if I took history, then I would have done RS, geography, and history. I was like, that just seems like too many humanities subjects.
You like geography more than history? Interesting.
Yeah, at that point, I did.
Sedimentary rocks and that.
No. I like the more development aspect of it. I think human geography is really interesting.
Okay.
Not volcanoes and all the rest of it. I can't. My brain goes into
That's all I
like.
remember from geography. I was
Trying
like,
to
I never
remember.
want to look at this ever again.
Oh gosh. And I did my A levels, and that was a huge roller coaster ride. But yeah, I mean, other than that, we traveled a lot this decade. I think.
You do travel a lot.
Like we traveled. I think maybe every single year.
Whoa.
So
Lucky girl.
alhamdulillah, it was a good experience. I think I'll look back at it as the time that I spent mainly with my family, enjoying life really.
That's good
But yeah.
to think this was the easiest decade we'll ever have.
Yeah.
No, actually, I take
Do you
that
not think
back.
so?
No, because this is still. No, I'm lying. I'm lying.
She's really taking that back.
Yeah, like this was the decade of my GCSEs, my A levels, my degree, me finding jobs. This was definitely the hardest decade of my life. What am I talking about? I think it gets easier afterwards once you've set like. It gets more boring though. I think it gets more boring, but it gets easier.
Ooh, do you
I'm
think
not
that
looking
depends on
forward
the
to
type of
growing up.
person you are though?
Yes.
How do you plan to live your next decades of your life?
This next decade to build my career and travel as much as I can. Enjoy being young and unmarried and without children, because who knows how tied down you'll be later.
Ooh.
That's what I'm looking forward to for this decade.
I mean, all of my
Wait,
friends are like,
I'll
this
be
is
32 though.
really.
I'll be 32 at the end of this decade. You'll be 30.
I didn't think about that.
It's okay. At the start of this decade, we were 12. Like, how long ago is that? It's a long time.
It is a long time, but at the same time, it feels like
It starts speeding up from here.
Yeah, that I don't like that.
No, me neither.
Do you think we'll still be here?
Oh, yeah, we'll just be
Could
like
you
sister
imagine?
speak, but we can't say like young Muslim women.
Oh my gosh, I don't know, maybe.
We'll be given like motherly advice.
But, oh my gosh. But yeah, no, loads of people at uni are saying this is the decade where, you know, we'll be getting our jobs, we'll be getting married, having kids. I'm like, this is
So weird.
so much to think about. I can't even commit to a single hairstyle, let alone, you know. I cut my own fringe the other day and it was a mistake.
Oh no, you're
Such a
supposed to
big
make that
mistake.
mistake when you're 6.
Yeah, I know. And I thought end of the decade, I'm going to try and do something. And yeah, that happened. My mum tried to take over halfway and it just didn't. It went even worse.
I
She
want to
messed
see
it
this
up.
later.
So bad.
Is it like them ones where it's like half your full fringe? I did that when I was 6.
I did that when I was 8 as well.
So you never learn.
And then another 10 years later, I'm going to do the same thing. It's really bad. But
Hopefully, we'll make it something that's like in fashion. You know when it's edgy. You know those short fringes that are like edgy.
and it's really annoying because when I wash my
Dye
hair,
at
like
the
I don't know
bottom.
what to do with it. It just sticks up, and I'm like, this is not.
You wear a hijab. It's
This,
like,
no, you don't understand. And it's even more annoying because I didn't like clip it back today, so it keeps
Yeah.
coming out, and I'm like, I can't deal with this. So, moral of the story: don't get fringe, especially not when you're 19 years old. Like you're too old for
don't
this.
do it by yourself.
Yeah, yeah. Book that hairdresser's appointment.
Yeah, it's not that much.
No,
Not for girls. How often do we actually cut our hair? Let's be honest.
very rarely.
Like once a year for me.
I don't think
That's
I've cut
pretty
my hair in quite a while.
Yeah.
I wanted to grow it out, but it's getting annoying
Grow
now.
mine out.
But yeah, end of a decade. I mean,
I
in this
can't
decade,
believe
I
it.
started Sister Speak as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I started Sister Speak. Oh my god, Sister Speak is going to be like 4-ish. 5-ish.
Really? Oh,
How long ago was this? So I started my gap year. 4 years. Yeah, it's about 4 years.
4 years.
Whoa.
Amazing.
Older than my cats.
But yeah, you guys let us know what's been your highlight for this decade. Do you have a highlight for the decade? Me and Sadia struggled. I mean, mine was Thorpe Park. But yeah. But yeah, I mean, let us know. Text or WhatsApp in, call us in, and let us know on Facebook. We're live on Facebook. But yeah.
I thought Sonia was here.
No, I'm just waving to the
Ooh, I wanna
Facebook
watch
Live
us.
views. But yeah, I had another hot topic
Oh yeah, please.
discussing the cold. I mean, we wouldn't
Oh,
be
I hate
British
it.
if we didn't discuss the weather. But yeah, do you feel like this winter's colder than usual? Like
I
last
don't know
year?
if it is. I just hate it.
You just hate it.
I hate it so much. I don't know why. Like I've had a winter every single year of my life, but it always comes as such a shock to me.
Like, oh my god,
I
it's
don't know
cold.
how to adjust. Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like I feel definitely a lot more cold than I did last year. Like
I
I'm
don't remember.
having to whip out the big jacket. Today I have a t-shirt, a
It is
jumper,
December, to be fair.
a hoodie, and my padded jacket.
Yeah, but like we grew up with
Even worse.
snowy Decembers.
So I don't know why I'm overreacting right now, but I feel so cold. And apparently, like I saw headlines earlier, like in November, I think, saying that this was going to be, you know, the coldest winter of
I hear that
100
every
years, all of that stuff. It's really not. I think it was the Met Office saying that it's going to be higher than average. But I
Okay.
don't know. I feel like it's for me, it feels a lot colder than it was last year.
Yeah.
Like when I was going out to uni and stuff with it, I could see my breath. I was like, this is too cold. It's really too cold. But you know, and then you have people who are trying to like, you know, save on heating and stuff like that when you're at uni and you're like, I don't want to. I want to be warm. But yeah, that was
I hate being in the warmth and then going out in the cold. I can't.
especially in the morning.
Do you know who annoys me? Those people who are like, oh, I can't wait for winter so I could really start dressing. I love like wearing in my winter clothes. I'm like, so are you saying you would sacrifice the sun so you can wear a few burgundy jumpers?
Turtlenecks.
Those people are such bad vibes.
Oh my
in my
God.
opinion. Like, how can you? Oh,
Sata, I mean,
like you like to be freezing and to like cozied up in your bed, fine. But that's not the whole of it.
it's just to be. I mean,
Step out of
I
that bed
wish.
eventually.
I wish I had those clothes though, but
I
unfortunately,
have those clothes. I just don't
She
like
has
wearing
those clothes.
excessive layers. It's uncomfortable. Like, you know, when you're just wearing so much and then you're walking fast and then you get hot and you're just like, oh, shoot,
Oh, it's
now
too
I need
much.
to take one layer off.
Especially when you're in the lecture theatre and then you
feel
like,
so stiff.
it's ridiculous.
You can't move an arm because there's like 5 jumpers on you.
For sure. Ugh. But I mean, I don't know. I like it when it starts snowing. And you have those cold evenings.
Yeah, no,
I
I
really
do like the
those.
snow
And I like
and nothing's
the
functioning.
air. like, you know, when it's really, really cold and thin, it's just nice to breathe in.
I do like the snow just because of the environment. It feels like everything's slowed down and everything's closed and you don't have to go to school or you don't have to
anything. But that hasn't happened in ages.
No,
like snow days.
I remember my second year of uni in Cardiff, the snow was like down there.
Really?
Do you not remember? It was so heavy. It's the snow.
Is that because it's Cardiff?
No, it was that bad in Luton too.
Luton
apparently.
as well?
I saw pictures.
Really? I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure it was not in December though. It might have been January, February.
Oh yeah, it was heavy. Like we made yeah, that day I think we had a snow day because well, I had to take a snow day because my school's in Bedford, so I couldn't get.
Wasn't it closed?
Couldn't
officially?
get through the A6. No, it wasn't officially closed. But the bus company like wasn't running the buses, so I couldn't go to school. Yeah.
School. You in school 2 years ago? You in college?
Sixth form, yeah, but it was attached to my school, so it's just school. It's the same as school.
Cool.
But you know, yeah, I miss the snow.
Yeah.
At the start of this decade.
Do you think we'll get it again this year? Should we make a prediction?
I don't think so.
I think we'll get it next year, maybe February.
Do you think? But do you think it'll be like?
It might be a little bit, but it won't settle.
Yeah,
that's my prediction.
It'll be the rubbish snow that no one likes.
Inspire FM weather forecast
with Sadia.
With Sadia.
Oh gosh. But yeah, I mean, I guess that wraps it up.
In a burgundy
that was a really bad pun. Oh my gosh. But yeah, we may as well begin our main topic really quickly. Just to start off really. So it's the effect of social media propaganda on elections. If you do have any discussions that you want to put forth, what can they do, Sadia, to get in contact?
You can call us in on 01582 481822. I feel like I'm on the Islam channel.
Oh my god.
Or you could text us and WhatsApp us on 0779 481822. You heard it here, folks. That was so TV.
I mean, do let us know your thoughts. We'd love to hear what you have to say. But yeah, let's begin. So propaganda, the definition, I've got a Google definition and then I've got a Cambridge dictionary definition. They're not too different. So the Google definition is information, especially of a biased or misleading nature, used to promote a political cause or point of view.
Yeah.
And then the Cambridge definition is information, ideas, opinions, or images, often only giving one part of an argument that are broadcast, published, or in some other way spread with the intention of influencing people's decisions. So from those definitions, I guess you could see how propaganda really plays into elections. Because
it plays into everything.
Plays into everything, yeah, for sure. But, you know, obviously in an election...
World go around. It really does, propaganda these days.
Really?
I think so, yeah.
Why? Interesting.
Is this where we want to start? So basically, I remember studying philosophy, political philosophy in particular, and one of the things that I remember learning about, I'm not trying to spread like a communist revolution here or anything, but the philosopher Karl Marx mentioned how he believes that, you know, democracy is invalid because everything is controlled by the media, which is controlled by the rich.
Okay.
So in that sense, everybody's opinions are controlled by what we see around us. And I think that's so much more relevant now than it ever has been. Like all of our views are controlled by what we see and what we hear. And whoever controls what we see, it has so much power in their hands. They might as well be the most powerful person in the world.
But isn't that just everything? Not politics, but
yeah,
it
absolutely.
Go, like
it's
life
not just
in general,
all,
like the way we view life, what we think, what we hear, is
like
everything.
Music taste, fashion, whatever you want, like it's controlled by something.
Yeah, I mean, but growing up, your childhood, the way you're brought up is controlled by, for example, your parents. They're who's feeding you the information. You know,
so but your parents don't have
a political agenda.
A political agenda. They're just trying to raise you.
But I mean, but you know, interesting. Propaganda is everywhere, I guess. And definitely it plays into like elections and election campaigns because some like different parties obviously trying to get themselves elected. So they're going to put out information as to why they're better or maybe why they're better over other parties. I guess the first question I want to quickly ask you is, what do you think the effect of this type of propaganda is in general on, you know, influencing people?
Oh, it's so dangerous because I remember certain referendums we've had.
Okay.
There wasn't a lot of truth going around.
Okay.
There were lies being spread through different means of propaganda, and a lot of people voted a certain way because that's what they believed. And then literally the day after the results, it was revealed that a lot of these messages weren't true, these promises. So as you can, and then these people were like, they felt betrayed. So as you can see, big decisions are played out through propaganda. Like it controls everything. Little decisions being made in politics have such a huge impact on people's lives. Like people can die as a result of propaganda going a certain way.
Yeah.
If you're really thinking about it in certain things.
So I guess your preliminary thoughts is it has a huge impact.
Yeah, no, I just hate it when people say like, I started a job and then one of the managers, like they're about my age, they were like, oh, Miss Politics. I was like, and like he just doesn't get why I'm so into politics. He doesn't like to be involved in politics. And I'm just like, politics isn't just an interest. It's literally everybody's lives. People die because of politics. People live because of politics. People are oppressed because of politics. It's everything. I don't want to see why I would be seen as excessively opinionated or something because I'm into politics.
Yeah, when really maybe it can be argued that everyone should have a slight opinion. But yeah,
or just look into it.
Join us after the break.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get into it. Assalamu alaikum.
You're listening to an Inspire FM podcast, making available our popular programs from our daily broadcast on Inspire FM.
We are live. Just want to clarify that we're live. So before the break, we just started to get into our main topic for the show, which was the effect of social media propaganda on elections. And Sadia began the conversation, and she ended on quite an interesting point in the sense that even if you have sort of the slightest interest in politics, maybe, or you keep up with political affairs, other people almost brand you as, politics fanatic in a way.
Yeah.
And
should we expand on it?
Let's expand on it.
So the situation that I was in was the day after the election. I wasn't happy with the results. I was in quite a mood, and my colleague was like, are you all right? Like, you don't seem like very happy. I was like, I'm not.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, it's just politics. Like, it's fine. I'm like, it's not just politics. Like, politics is everything. A lot of people are going to, this is so difficult to keep them in these opinions. Yeah, I just felt like there's so much at stake.
Do you think more people should take more of an interest in politics?
I think everyone should have I think there's not really an excuse to not. It's not about having an interest in politics as in finding it like watching Big Brother or something. This is how you live. This is, the decisions that are made by MPs, by political figures that will shape. Like, you're not even just you, like people who are suffering even more than you. And like, we need to take care of those people, and we need to look out for each other as a community. And that's why we should be interested in politics, because it's our livelihood.
And also, in other countries, people don't actually have the ability to
vote.
Not even just vote. They might be able to vote, but the elections may not be as fair, or they may not have enough information available to them. And we, as much as, we're going to talk about social media propaganda and how it does affect the way we vote, in the same sense, there is a lot of information out there. If you really wanted to, you could sift through everything and come to quite an informed decision, but other countries don't really have that. So in that sense, maybe it's a huge privilege that we really get to decide in that way.
In my opinion, I feel like we need to represent ourselves and vote in favour to make the lives of other Muslims who might be facing Islamophobia or discrimination, like all of that, easier. Maybe vote in the party that does less harm to our people, etc.
For sure.
I think that's our duty.
Yeah.
It's my own opinion.
It's not just another aspect like, this person's interested in politics, this person's interested in movies or stuff like that. This is what governs you, your livelihood, if you live in this country. So, it's not just you should try and understand it and try and come to your own decision about it. But yeah. So nowadays, social media and social media campaigning is a lot more common in election campaigns. Why do you think that is?
Because social media is bigger than it was before. A lot more people are on social media, and it's a bigger platform these days than TV, I think. Yo, Sonia.
Hi guys, how are you doing? Good, thank you.
What's your thought of the week? Let's throw you right in there.
Well, actually, I was just going to continue on what you're saying.
New hair?
Yeah. Ooh. Wow. Thank you. But like, this is such a big thing, but I don't think there should be political advertising on social media. I truly don't. I think there should be information. So you should be able to see, like, when you see a party's advertising, you should be able to see their manifesto or like what they stand for, but you shouldn't see like, oh, vote this party because of this. I just feel like it's so misleading in a way sometimes.
I get
and people just get confused and they're like, I saw this and now I'm doing that. Did you see anything else? You should have access to everything equally. We don't have that equal. It's not equal at all.
I was gonna come on to this, but I guess I'll just, since you brought it up, I'll bring it up. So you're saying that social media advertising, do you think it should be restricted or do you think it should be banned like it is on the television?
I think it should be fact-checked.
Okay.
And properly.
Obviously, the television advertising is banned to a certain extent because of the fact that parties or people with more money who can afford these advertising can very significantly, influence the way that people think.
Of course.
In that sense. Isn't social media just the same thing?
Yeah, it is. And let's not forget the algorithms. Like, I don't want to go into it because I don't know about technicalities like that. But what it is what you're leaning towards. You naturally will see more of that. It's a fact. You will naturally see more of that party and that, like, if it's left, right, centre, whatever it is that you lean towards, naturally, you will see that on your social media. That's how it works. And we know social media has these algorithms. They listen to you, whatever people say or whatever, and that's what's going to happen. And you're going to see more of that. How do you ever get to see the other side or all the other sides, all the options available to you? You don't. You truly don't.
But do you think that might just be because of loads of people? Yeah, exactly. Loads of people say that if I'm a certain party, like I'm always going to vote for that party no matter what. So do you think that plays into it, or do you think advertising does have an effect? It can sway the way people think.
I think it has a major effect. What? It does have an effect.
Did you get my question?
No, I didn't get it.
Well, if at the end of the day you're always going to be voting for a certain party, then does advertising on social media, things like that, really have an effect? Can it really sway your decision?
Yeah, definitely. There were a lot of people in this election who voted against the party that they have voted for their entire lives.
Past,
And I remember listening to it on the radio, just getting angry. I was like, okay. And they're like, oh, if this and this and this changed, and I'll go back to them. So I don't think everybody has these party loyalties.
I think for me, it's just that it's not equally shown. And that's always good. That's because it's the advertising. You only see more of one side, not the other. That's natural. But if you had the equal opportunity to see everything or information available to you, then you can make an informed decision.
It's dependent on budget as well.
Exactly. And that's the whole thing with advertising. Should they be allowed to advertise? I don't think they should. Just like you said, it's banned on TV. It should be banned on social media.
Yeah. I guess because I'm thinking from the opinion, like from the viewpoint of the party I support putting out advertising, I'm like, oh yeah, great. But then I'm like, oh, for the greater good.
But you wouldn't be comfortable with the other party.
Exactly, because some parties play dirty, and it just allows it to start stemming.
Okay. And funnily enough, I actually spoke to someone recently, and they didn't like an individual because of the way that individual was treated by people on social media. And I'm like, how is that? That should not play an effect in your voting. That should not play an effect on what party you enjoy. They were like, no.
What people were saying about that person.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, I hate the way it's all, I can't even describe it. But just, it's the way, like memes, even things like that. Yeah. People don't like it. People, it can really sway someone away from something. And it's like, don't mix up politics and conservative party, this party, that party, with memes and social media and jokes and stuff. It's like, no, let it be about the information that they're providing.
So do you think wouldn't you argue that not a lot of people are into the information? Like, some people need a simplified version because not everyone is as politically as involved as we are and knows about different things, because we're quite involved in politics.
But so that's true. Maybe simplified versions can be put out. Yeah,
and that gives you a completely wrong idea.
No, not as in the manifesto. Sorry, not as in the. What am I saying? Not the propaganda itself.
Yeah.
But if they're talking about their policies and what like they've done in the past and all that. Are you still against that? Because sometimes you do need simplified versions
yourself.
But not everybody understands the information out there.
Yeah.
There are a lot of technical words used in politics.
I just don't think social media is the way to do it. Like, if a person or individual wants to speak about it and you want to go about yourself, say you're self-started, you want to be like, hey guys, let me simplify it for you, or something like that. I think that's okay. But parties themselves shouldn't have the power to advertise
parties themselves.
That's what I think.
Okay. But don't you think that's another thing where they could just pay people to do certain things for them and get their message across that way?
Oh my God, this is really bad. I never even thought about it like that.
So how else would you propose they go about? Because at the end of the day, an election is almost an advertising campaign.
Yeah,
they need to push forward their views. They want to get in power. How are they going to appeal to people who are perhaps voting for other parties if they can't do it through social media? And social media is such a big aspect nowadays.
I don't think there's anything wrong with them advertising their views and their manifesto and what they are genuinely going to do when they're in power, as long as they're being honest about it and as long as they're not using propaganda against the other party, because that's when it gets dangerous.
Okay.
Because if all parties... If all the social media activity that they did was, hey, this is our manifesto, here's some videos of like what we're going to do, here's some stuff we have done, that's good advertising. That's like, it's generating good faith. It's informative. Yeah, people will see it. It's an easier way to gain some information on the current political climate. See, that's fine. But it gets very dangerous when it turns into bashing and lying and exaggerating.
But I think then we have to look at newspapers.
Oh my God, newspapers. I hate newspapers
but that's
so
media,
much.
Right? Like, there's a different, it's just another form of media.
Yeah.
And newspapers are allowed to do anything. And when it comes to politics, they can do it. They can do what you've just mentioned. So putting another party down, all the satirical cartoons and jokes, it's all literally in newspapers. So
should we regulate newspapers?
Exactly. So how much, I mean, even though I was for regulating social media, now it's like, how much more can we go? Then we just have to look at everything. And then we're not going to have any information.
Has anyone seen that Princess Diana documentary?
I've seen loads.
Well, there's one on a certain platform. You know, the most prominent. Yeah. That one.
I think I have, yeah.
Yeah, so I remember I was watching it and there was like a lot of influence on how the media was always after her and how she was the biggest star in the world and how it inevitably could have like led to her death. And that was like the first sign of how much power the media has and how dangerous it could be. It really reminds me of this now. Like like how did there was literally not elections. They brought certain individuals to the House of Commons to debate how much power these newspapers can have. But nothing's changed. She passed away in 1997 and they still have as much power as they want, in my opinion. And
so do you think the media can make or break anyone in 100%. This situation?
Yeah, and the thing is, we don't look at newspapers, so we don't even know what they're saying, but
I look at them
loads
sometimes.
of demographics. Yeah, but you're into media, aren't you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
So do you think that social media advertising only really appeals to a certain demographic, so young demographics?
100%.
And really, if we look at the demographics that are available to vote, it doesn't really have that big of an impact if you think about the overall picture. Or do you think it still has a huge impact?
I think you're exactly right. And if you look at the statistics, you'll be able to see that direct impact. And you'll also be able to see how it actually doesn't have much of a big impact at all. Okay. It's very small at the moment. That might change in the future. We're just only growing, you know, as social media is just getting bigger and bigger. So that might change.
Because we are the young people right now, but in future generations, we're going to be the older ones.
Yeah,
do you think our use of social media? Yeah. Do you think we're suddenly going to be like, nah, I'm old now?
No, I think we're going to keep using social media, but then social media will become the new newspapers.
Perhaps.
Yeah. But you can't regulate media like that. That's just back to the thing I was just thinking, because that's the freedom, and I put that in quotation marks, because that's the freedom for anyone. I can set up an independent magazine now, do you know what I mean, and then distribute that and stuff, and then it's like, oh, you get the freedom of your speech and your opinion, and you can distribute that. Obviously those with more money have more power and more, you know, you're going to see that more.
Always boils down to money.
Yeah.
Why?
So money makes the world go around.
Do you think so? So those with more money have more power and can peddle forth their views more.
I mean, 100%.
This is a direct thing. If you just think about it, they can print more papers. Now you see more papers of theirs. Now you see theirs propaganda more. It's that simple.
So it's a really difficult situation. Like you can't make it 100%, perhaps 100% fair.
Yeah.
Because
no way. No.
In the concept of an election, some parties are just generally going to have more money, more manpower, more
but
all
I think
of this.
That's why, again, even though I was against the social media advertising, that one good thing about it is the underdog gets their voice heard.
Yeah.
So otherwise, say I stood for myself. Oh, okay. You're like, hey, they need to have their voice heard. Yeah, because you actually don't need money. Think about things that go viral. For free. Yeah. You just, share it. Oh, I like this. Share. That's without money. That's the people have the power in that sense. But having said that, it still might not work. So it is the money. Yeah.
It's the money.
It is the money. Yeah.
It is the money. Okay. I mean, yeah.
What's the next question?
I've forgotten what I was going to say. But yeah, an interesting point you were talking about the memes and things like that that were going up and these were affecting. Do you think politics in general has become less of a serious matter, more of a joke? Do you think?
Yes and no.
Because I feel like, this is my personal opinion, but I feel like culturally a lot of us, it's really easy to see politics as a sort of game almost, or, it's really easy to mock it, make fun out of it, things like that, and not really take it as seriously as perhaps 10 years ago. I mean, when I was in school and the 2010 elections were going on, I was only in year 5, but I was still watching the news and stuff like that. Weirdly,
same, yeah.
But it was a lot. Like, I remember it being a lot more serious.
I'll tell you something that really changed in my eyes. Again, I was very young in the previous elections. Well, now I can vote and I have voted.
This is your first election too, isn't it?
No, it's not. Second.
I forget, you're just
I did a really big one, Sadia. I did one of the big ones. You know which one I'm talking about, right? Yeah. Anyway,
like I wish I could exactly in all of the same as mine.
Yeah, exactly the same.
I keep thinking you're Lamisa's age.
No, is it your first election?
She's a 2000s baby. Isn't that mad?
Oh gosh, we go to that another time because that's a whole thing to go into. But yeah, what I was going to say is when I was young, I genuinely remember you cannot speak about the party you have voted for. Yeah. That was such a strict rule. Even my parents used to tell me don't tell anyone who we voted for. We just don't do it. We don't speak about politics in the workplace. You just do your thing and then you keep it moving, right? Yeah. And I'm not even joking. When I used to see it on social media, I was like, hold on, are we all just telling each other who to vote for? Like, is that okay? Is that allowed? It was such a big thing for me to see that, after campaigning, yes, but then telling each other, vote for this person, I'm voting for this person. Hold on a minute. We share that information now? And that was supposed to be top secret.
Are you against it?
I mean, I don't know. I think it's so easy to be influenced by someone that you like and are, someone that's in a relationship, like friendship or family, without you doing your own research. That's what happens.
So.
I mean, how many of us saw our friends put up on social media posts about who to vote for on election day?
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. And in your point of view, you're saying, well, that's great. I mean, I do want my friends to vote for who I want. Yeah, that's great. But at the same time, I just see it as
I don't like the other side doing it. Yeah.
I mean, when I did get annoyed when I saw some of my friends saying vote for the other party. I was like,
and suddenly
disgusting. Are we friends anymore? No, exactly. Joking. But
no, but I felt the next day. It makes me think so many things when I see people's different opinions on who to vote for, and you want to go into it and be like, well, why do you think that, and why do you think this, and it's like, well, it should be personal to you. It should be, but now it's not.
I don't think politics is
personal.
I feel like it tells a lot. No, it's personal. As in, I think it says a lot about you. And
that's something you want to know about someone.
Yeah, exactly. I want to know if like my husband's a UKIP. I'm joking.
Is it like football team supporting in a way? Except football's a game. Yeah,
except football's a game.
And politics takes you into it's real. Like football is real life, guys. Now I'm going to something else. But the point is, politics affects people in real life, affects people in ways that we couldn't even imagine, or maybe we do, and that's why it's so personal to them, and that's why they feel so strongly about it. Like Sadia, I'm sure you're a person that feels strongly about voting as well, right? Yeah. There's a reason why. Because you like certain things people stand for, and you don't like certain things other people stand for. Yeah. It's very personal, but now we're sharing that, and it's become this whole thing, and then that's the trivial comes into it. Now we're making jokes, and now we're making memes, and now it's just.
I feel like also the the people who are meant to be these people of power, who are meant to be almost, I feel like they're almost separate from us because they're making the decisions, but they're also using these media outlets so frequently.
Yep.
And I think you guys know who I'm talking about in particular. One person uses, you know, a particular media outlet more often than others to try and get through his or her points. And it's like, instead of just holding press conferences and things like that they used to, where it's all very much more professional, nowadays it's more like, I'm just gonna, you know, put out a post about this online. You're whatever, the president, prime minister, this person in power in the country, and you're also using these, you know, forms of media and stuff like that.
I think that started, I saw that more in other countries as well. So like,
I feel like it's less so in our country, more so in other countries.
I think it started off more in other countries.
But I feel like it's definitely eased the culture of being able to see them on our level, and perhaps in that way that's made us able to joke about them a lot more.
Yeah, it's not like this important thing that you can't talk about or you're very serious. And you know, before you might think, I can't say this on social media, I can't defame a political person on social media. Now it's a freedom of speech. Yeah,
you don't have to know.
I still feel like I can't say certain things just because what if an employer...
No, I definitely feel that. Or what if one day, I don't know, for some weird reason, I want to go into politics. Like, I feel like all these things come to bite you.
How do you guys feel about employers looking on your social media? I know this is a completely different thing, but how do you? I feel like they shouldn't be allowed.
To wrap it, let's get this. Okay.
I don't know if it's public.
No, I mean, let's do this topic quickly. Let's go through it. I like this topic.
What do you think? Do you think, like,
I mean, if it's public, you put it out there for them.
But still, I feel uncomfortable talking about politics.
But that's the difference between social media. Is your social media a public platform?
Public, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
When it's public, when you want it to be, when you want to advertise your views, Sadia, when you want people to vote for who you're voting for. No, but I'm saying,
but I don't want to not get a job because
personally
my
like,
employer
I've had a long day.
And
then your employer thinks, this person can't handle a long day, I'm not hiring them. Do you know what I mean? It's something
I don't think they should, unless I'm like a threat to society. I don't think I should.
I don't think they should unless it's your social media job. A social media job, look at my social media to see how I've displayed my work, maybe something like that. But I 100% agree with you. It's not fair at all.
It means you just don't get to have an opinion and actually be vocal about it because you're just worried that you won't get a job if you say this.
It means your opinion doesn't get to clash with those of the employer because it's quite personal. Again, if you're talking about politics, if they don't like the party you're voting for, suddenly like, I don't want that person in my workplace. Why should that come into effect? It shouldn't.
Would that come into effect if you were to hire someone? What party? I mean, we're talking about how important this whole thing is.
Yeah, no, I get you, but it only if that party is a threat to other people.
Okay. But do you think any of the political parties in this country is really a threat? I don't think any of them would be classed classed as they are a threat.
As in, like, if it's a threat to minorities or something like that, something that's...
But again, isn't that subjective to your views?
It's very subjective. You saying threat, and another part, an employer might say, well, I don't like them because I feel like they're not hard working enough.
I'm not thinking of like the mainstream parties right now. No, of course not,
but
mainly the ones, if it's a specific one that's literal goal is racist, like, you know what I'm saying? If I would want to know if it's something like that. I could excuse the more general stuff, but if it's
but then again, looking at someone's social media, social media might reveal that about a person. I just don't
want to look at their social media.
But even having said that,
an
employer might be the opposite, like the literal opposite, and be racist themselves in this case, and be like, well, I'm not going to hire them because
they know how I look,
and then it's how it.
But they're racist themselves. I'm still brown.
You might be an employer. You might want to employ someone, and they may have racist views, and you might see that from their social media. So don't you think it is an important thing? I would want to know that. It's an important thing to have a look at.
So you would want to look at.
I would want to know if my employer is
racist. If you were an employee, you can look at social media. But an employer right now can't look at your social media.
Do you know why this is? Do you see how this is difficult? I think I should know if I'm being employed by a racist.
Or you're employing a racist, and maybe that's why it's important to have them look at your social media. And maybe comes down to you and what you want to put out on your social media. Think before you post.
But I'm not posting racist stuff.
But then if someone
you're fine.
I am.
But having said that, if an employer doesn't want to hire you because of your opinions, and you're like, well, surely you don't want to work for them then. And then how can you act in the workplace? But
I still need a job, Sonia.
But
maybe the employer doesn't reflect the actual company. Maybe it's that particular person,
and it's a personal view.
So but then you haven't got the job in a good company because that specific employer doesn't like your views.
Are there regulations to stop that though?
I don't know.
But
then
I'm pretty
who's
sure there are
checking, Lamisa?
workplace
Who's
regulations.
checking?
I feel like there are workplace regulations. People have like HR people who are checking. I'm sure.
Okay.
Are they?
That's
I will
nice
pray
and
for you guys to
hopeful.
get your jobs.
That's really hopeful.
It's so easy to just go on your phone and search this. Like,
Yeah.
I've changed my Instagram name, not Instagram name, Twitter name, not to anything very different.
But you know what? Back to the social media thing. Isn't it fair to say you can be an individual on social media and a different person at the workplace? Don't we all have a different? Like, yeah, this is my work personality.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be my crazy party self. I'm just trying to give an example.
But aren't you still at the end of
You're
the day?
you, but at work you
Your
don't
views, your
necessarily
opinions,
have
everything.
to.
you don't swear at work, for example.
There's a good example.
That's true.
You know,
Very true.
especially if you're a teacher, you're a completely different person than you will be
Yeah.
at home with your
Yeah.
family. That's completely two different people. So why should now they get to be able to see that side of you? And teachers actually have to have private social media just to think. So
The
like
stu-
the
yeah.
students can't follow them anyway.
course.
So that's an example of how
so
different
many
you are.
teachers.
You have teachers on
Sadia,
social
we
media.
did.
Oops.
I
we
wasn't
found
stalking
it.
my teachers on social
No, we
media.
would do it in class. Do you know?
Oh my gosh.
But that's why they needed a private. This side is the reason why they needed
I'm
a
not the
private. social
reason.
media.
Other people are. I would just
gosh.
see it on their phones. That
Yeah.
they're not allowed to have in school.
But I mean, I guess you could always put your social media on private, then they wouldn't get access to it, right?
But why should you
I
have
don't
to
wanna
do
do
that?
that.
Why should you have to do that?
I don't feel comfortable having my social media public anyway.
Certain social media is like,
It depends how personal it is to you.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
Snapchat might be more personal to you if that's, or a different social media platform might be like, yeah, public. I want to
Okay.
advertise.
I feel like
something.
specific social media is not for going private, like Twitter. Like, you know, you want to like retweet.
I mean, if it's private and you
Well,
have no one else, then it's just a diary, then, isn't it?
Exactly.
Anyway.
Okay,
And
so
then you got those comments where it's like you don't know.
Just blank. It's just a blank.
final thoughts. What do you think are the major effects of? Well, what do you think social media has it affected the election or
It
not?
has
Just
affected
media,
it.
social
I'm
media?
not saying positive or negative, but it's made
Do you
an
think
effect.
it's had a huge effect? Huge effect or slight effect or
a small effect, but it's
Small
definitely
effect.
making.
you think it's going to change in the future?
Yeah.
What about yourself, Sadia?
Yeah, you just
Wrapping
asked my social media, not propaganda.
No, I'm talking about social media propaganda, the way it affects elections.
Propaganda affects absolutely everything, every single election. Don't know how much social media has in comparison to the general propaganda in the world,
Okay.
but it has had an impact.
Impact. Okay.
And it might not be fair. I'll say that
Yes.
too. That would
Okay.
be my last thing.
And yeah,
Sonia's trying
it
to
should
get
be
employed out
fairer
here.
in the future, right? But yeah,
Hopefully.
hopefully. So we're going to wrap up today's show. We went into quite a lot of detail, and I hope you guys join us next week where we'll be here. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. We stream our daily broadcast on inspirefm.org. You'll find all our daily updates on our social media at Inspire FM Luton.